Hello and welcome to this live physio session. I'm Charlotte, one of the physiotherapists here at Katie Bell's Physiotherapy and Wellness here on Ecclesall Road South. We're excited to be hosting a regular Live with a Physio video chat. We hear so often in clinic or people at work saying they've got all these problems but they can't ever make it to a physio just because of work gets in the way, looking after children, all those sorts of things. So we've decided, why not bring physio to you? During these sessions, it's a great opportunity for you to ask any questions. Ask any questions that you want. It could be about literally anything, whether it's about a sporting injury, postural advice, Pilates, massage, gym, anything. It's a great opportunity for you to just either drop us a message on here or contact us at Katie Bell's Physiotherapy and Wellness. And then we'll be here to hopefully answer your questions and give you as much advice as possible. And we'll help you give you some tips, exercises, all those sorts of things. Remember that the advice that we give on here is based on the information, the questions that you ask. There hasn't been any prior assessment that has taken place. And if we feel that this isn't the platform to discuss your problem, then we'll recommend further action. Okay. So we've got a couple of questions here that have been sent in over the past week. So the first one is, Hilary asks, I've had knee pain at the side of my knee for the last 3 weeks. I was pulling something heavy at work and I think that might have been what did it. I'm not 100% sure as it's gradually come on, but it's got to a point where I'm really struggling with it. When I lifted something heavy at work, I did feel a pull in my back and my lower back has been an ongoing issue. My knee mainly hurts going up and down stairs and I went to see the GP. The GP said it is probably related to your age, and in brackets, but I am 70, but I don't want it to be the thing that stops me from doing things that I enjoy. I really, really enjoy my walking and don't want to give it up. What do you think I could do, and do you think this means I have to stop walking? So Hilary, thank you very much for your question. Obviously, as you get a bit older, it's a bit worrying when sort of you're told, oh, it's just wear and tear, it's just your age. Because it does sometimes make you think, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this if this is what's causing my pain. But absolutely not the case at all, okay? So there's a few things that your knee pain could be. It could be one, as the doctor says, a bit of wear and tear due to your age. And undoubtedly, there might be a little bit of wear and tear in your knee. I'll just grab a knee joint, actually. So what I mean by wear and tear in your knee, you might have heard as osteoarthritis, is basically the wearing down of the sort of cartilage in the knee joint itself. And like I say, it tends to happen to a lot of people as they get older, particularly if they've been quite active throughout their life. So like I say, there might be a little bit of wear and tear in your knee. With that, some people don't get pain, some people get lots of pain, and it's very variable, but it definitely shouldn't stop you doing the things that you want to do. Alongside sort of wear and tear in the knee joints, your arthritis, you can also get a bit of wear and tear under your kneecap, okay? So your kneecap sits just in front of your thigh bone, all right? And it fits quite nicely into this little groove when you bend your knee. Again, if you've been quite active or been quite weak into your lower limbs, you can sometimes cause a bit of wear and tear under this kneecap surface. And again, that can cause a bit of pain, sometimes at the side of your knee, sometimes it feels quite deep into your knee, but that is also something it could be. Again, as sort of your wear and tear, that is often described as your patellofemoral joint pain, because that's this joint here where that kneecap sits in there. Again, it could be muscular, so we can't forget about the muscles. So there's lots of muscles that attach around your knee. You've got your quadricep muscles, so the big thigh muscles, okay? You've got your IT band, which is the muscle that runs down the side of your leg here, okay? And you've got your hamstrings that come behind, and then you've got your inner thigh muscles, your adductor muscles here, okay? So you've got quite a lot of muscles that can get tight and can cause knee pain. I would say probably one of the biggest and most common muscles to cause knee pain is your IT band, your iliotibial band. And this is because it's a very tight muscle in general, particularly if people are quite weak, because that's the muscle that we tend to overload. And when that muscle is overloaded, that's when it can then refer into the knee. And again, most commonly just onto that outside of your knee. So without really doing sort of a thorough assessment, Hilary, and having a look at your sort of your muscle strength, how you stand, how you walk, how you move, what kind of range of movement you've got. I can't exactly say what it could be, but there are a few options for you. How you treat it all is actually quite similar, okay? So judging by any of those conditions, really, they tend to be weakness into your quads, tightness into your IT band, weakness into your glutes, your bottom muscles, that all can lead to any of these problems, okay? So the first thing I would suggest you do is stretching or massage and sort of loosening off those tight muscles, particularly the IT band down the side of your leg. And if you have a bit of a press along there, particularly just above your knee, you might find it is quite tender. And if it is, that might be a bit of a, oh, actually, yeah, this could be what's causing this knee pain. So if it does feel a little bit tender into there, do give it a bit of a massage, and do give your thigh a bit of a massage as well, or a stretch, and try and really release off those muscles. It's quite hard to stretch your IT band, but a really good way you can loosen it off is by using a foam roller. To sort of lie on your side and roll the foam roller up and down the side of that leg, just being careful not to go over that hip. But you can actually stretch out your quadriceps quite nicely. So a good way you can do it is bringing that heel to your bum, okay, and pressing those hips forward. If you can't quite manage to bring that heel up to your bum, you can use a chair to rest that foot on, okay. So you can pop that foot onto a chair, and then again, that's that little bit of a bend in that knee, or you can use a towel or a tie just to tie around that foot and help pull it up towards you. That'll give a really nice stretch into those quadriceps. And again, you can stretch out your hamstrings by just reaching down into that leg, or you can prop it onto a chair again in sitting and then just reach down, stretching out those hamstrings. So yeah, the first thing, Hilary, I would say is do some stretching off, a little bit of self-massage, maybe even a little bit of heat's really nice just to help those muscles relax a little bit, okay? From there, I would make sure you've got a good range of movement in your knee. So can you bend it completely? Can you straighten it completely? If not, is that different to your good side? And if it is different, then I would work on your range of movement. So if it is your bend that you're struggling with, just simple sort of knee hugs, bringing it in. You can, I don't know if you'll be able to see on here, but you can sort of, imagine I'm sitting. So you can, in sitting, cross your good leg around the front of your bad leg and then pull that leg backwards. That can help often with that bend. And you can also prop it in front of you on a footrest, footstool, anything like that, just to try and increase that straightening of it, okay? And with that, you can add an oven glove with some tin of beans over it, just to help give it a little bit of pressure into that extended position. Okay, so there's a few ways there that you can help try and improve that range of movement into your knee. And the reason why the range of movement is really important is because if, for instance, it is arthritis in the actual knee joint, it can become really quite stiff into that knee joint, and the more stiffer it gets, the more the tightness the muscles become and the more tight the joint capsule becomes. So trying to maintain the range of movement that you've got is really important. Alongside that, if your knee is always slightly bent because you can't straighten it properly, that's going to put a lot more pressure under this kneecap, okay? So if you're walking around and you've constantly got a little bit of a bend in that knee, you're constantly going to be rubbing that kneecap on the surface of this bone here, your femur, okay? So we're constantly doing that, and that's really going to irritate the inside and cause that inflammation, cause that pain. So I'd recommend, again, stretching off, getting that full extended position, that full straightness in that knee, just to help offload that kneecap a little bit as well. From there, again, I'd also recommend strengthening exercises. Okay, so again, the fact you're getting all these pains does indicate that there is going to be some weakness somewhere. Whether that's in your quadriceps, it probably is. Okay, so into these muscles. So you've said obviously as you go upstairs or up the hill, that's when it's the worst. So as you're stepping up and coming into that straightened position, okay, so you go from bent to straight, that's when your quadriceps are really working, okay, and that's when your glutes are really working. Your glutes fire up the most when you're going from high, so into a step up a hill, so it probably indicates you're a little bit weak into your glutes and maybe a little bit weak into your quads. So how do you strengthen those? A really good way and an easy way to strengthen your knee, okay, is a little bit of a single leg squat, okay, so you can hold onto a wall and just do some little gentle knee bends, just hovering your good leg up off the floor. And make sure as you're doing these gentle knee bends, You're not letting that knee drop in or out, you're keeping it really straight. And that will help this glute fire up as well. Okay, so I'll do a few of those until you can really feel it in that quad, okay? So we want to really work that muscle so we know it's getting tired. I'll do sort of 3 lots until you can feel that burn. Again, for a glute exercise, you can stand holding on to your kitchen work surface and just lift it up and out to the side. Really firing up that muscle, squeezing through that glute as you lift it up. And again, you can add a band around your knee, some resistance to make it a little bit harder. Okay. Again, if you are quite fit and active and you're quite fit, another good one to do is a crab walk. So that's coming into a bit of a squat position, popping that band around your knees, coming down nice and low and walking sideways, okay? So you keep going all the way to the side and then come all the way back again. And again, really nice for the quadriceps, really nice for the bottom, all right? One other exercise that's really good for hamstrings is a bridge, okay? So I'll just turn that camera around. Ooh. Okay, so a glute bridge works your glutes and your hamstrings. So you're just coming onto the bed, feet and knees up, and you're just tucking your pelvis under, pushing up through those hamstrings, bringing those hips up. Make sure you don't have any pillows there so you don't bend that neck too much like I am. And then you just peel all the way up, squeeze through those glutes, and peel all the way back down. You can make that a little bit harder by crossing your good leg over your bad leg and push up through that bad leg to really strengthen and isolate just that one hamstring. Okay. So Hilary, I hope that's been helpful. I realise I've sort of given you a lot of information there, but as a quick summary, I'd say there are a few things that this knee pain could be from. It could be from the joints itself, so either this knee joint or this knee joint, okay? So either of those could be causing this pain, or it could be muscular, okay? So whether it's weakness or tightness, it's quite hard to say without assessing, but hopefully from the tips I've given you, you'll be able to sort of get on top of it and manage it. So regardless of what it is, make sure you're stretching all those main muscles, okay, around that thigh and around that knee. You're making sure you're keeping that range of movement in your knee, so you're getting that full bend and that full straightening in that knee. And then, like I say, you're building on that strength. Okay, so just starting off some nice, gentle strengthening exercises to try and build up some of that muscle. All right, like I say, again, if it doesn't seem to be settling down, feel free to book in, and one of us can do a free consultation, just have a look at what we think is going on and what the best steps forward for you will be if it isn't settling. Okay, so thanks for that, Hilary. Let's grab a quick drink and then we'll go on to this next question. Okay, so Jan has asked, my daughter is 16 years of age and is getting quite a bit of sort of back pain around her shoulder blades. Her neck and shoulders are also quite painful. We've been to the GP and they've ruled out anything serious, and the doctor has suggested that it is, in inverted commas, mechanical back pain. My daughter does spend a lot of time playing on a computer, watching TV, and has also recently done a lot of revision for exams. Do you have any recommendations as to what we can do to try and make this better? She doesn't particularly do any exercise, but I think she's keen to start doing some. Okay, thank you very much for that question, Jan. We hear it quite a lot that obviously children do get sort of pain around here into their sort of thoracic region, so around this part of the back, up into the neck and up into the shoulders. And there's a few reasons for this. One, obviously, as you're young, you are going through school, you are doing a lot of revision, you are doing a lot of reading, lots of homework. And with that, that means you do spend a lot of time in this flexed over position. Okay, so if you can see from this, if I'm constantly bent over my desk, writing, studying, whatever it might be, then you get this sort of rounding of your shoulders. Okay, and with that, that causes these muscles across your chest to become tight, and these muscles into your neck to become tight, okay? And that can sort of almost fix you into this position. With that, these muscles around here become switched off and don't activate very well, and with that can also become tight, okay? So you can see if your daughter's spending a lot of time in this position and now sort of spending that time watching TV in this position, or on your phone, whatever it might be, it's just constantly going to get tighter and tighter and tighter and more painful, all right? So the first thing I would recommend is just finding something that your daughter enjoys doing, whether it's going out, taking the dog for a walk, whether she'd be interested in trying something like yoga, Pilates, netball, running, whatever it might be. I would find something that might interest your daughter and something that she'd enjoy doing. Because as soon as your daughter will start walking or playing sport or activities, straight away you naturally come into a bit more of an upright position, okay? Rather than spending and focusing all your time down here. If you're playing netball, you've got to reach up, catch that ball, or if you're walking, you're into this position a little bit more, which helps recruit some of those other muscles around that back. So that would be the first thing I'd suggest. I know here we have Team Pilates, and all the girls that have come to that have had an amazing time, and they've been in a similar situation where they've been busy with exams, stressed, not knowing what sport to do, or they've not really found anything that they particularly enjoy. So Pilates is a really nice idea because it helps strengthen up and it also helps with mobility. You can try a free taster here, or you can go on YouTube and try a few exercises on YouTube and see if you'd get an idea for that, whether or not you'd like it. But that's the first thing I'd do, find something your daughter enjoys. From there's a few exercises and stretches and things like that you'd be able to do just to help try and sort of bring yourself out of this position into a bit more of a better upright position, okay? So the first thing I would look at is, first of all, range of movement, okay? So if you're finding that you're in this position, you're struggling to lift your shoulder higher than there, even something as simple as coming up into this position and then lifting that shoulder, you'll find is a lot easier, okay? So correcting that position first. Again, having a look at your neck, make sure you can move your neck around, and if you feel that that's a little bit stiff, find which movement's stiff and then hold that, okay, and just give it a little bit of a stretch, because you'll probably find if it's stiff into this direction, you'll be very tight into the upper traps on the opposite side, or vice versa. So find those tight areas and really stretch into it. If it's the shoulders, you can get up against a wall and really walk up nice and close, so you can stretch all the way into there. And again, if it's tightness into this region, your thoracic region, something like a thoracic rotation is really nice. So crossing those hands over the chest, keep those hips fixed, and twist around as far as you can, either way. Okay, and again, sort of bending forward and back, okay. So really nice range of movement exercises just to keep those joints moving. From there, again, I'd look at these muscles. So is massage something that could help to loosen them off? We've got spiky balls as well. So if at home you've got a spiky ball or a tennis ball, or even I've heard someone say they've used an apple, just make sure it's a hard one. That's, again, really nice way to loosen off these muscles around here, okay? Particularly sort of up into this neck. So you can either do it lying down, up against the wall, and you just pop that ball there, have a lie back onto it, roll it around that shoulder, finding those tender points. You can pause on it until those tender points ease off. You can just keep working it around that tender area. Either way, it's just a really nice way to loosen off some of those back muscles and neck muscles, okay? And then finally, again, similar to Hilary really, I'd look at the strengthening exercises. So probably overworking here and up here. So you want to work sort of the opposite muscles around the back and shoulder blades to bring you back and down a little bit, okay? So there's, again, quite a few exercises that you can do. I'll just move that camera over a little bit. Okay, let's pop them on the floor. So some really nice ones you can do is lying on the floor. Don't know if you'll be able to see me there. That's it. So lying on your floor at home, arms out in front. One of them you can just start by lifting those arms up off the floor. So you're coming up and down. So really squeezing those shoulder blades together and lowering them back down. Okay, you might find that's too hard, so you might just have to start with one arm at a time. Again, bring those arms down by the side. You can lift that chest up and down to really help recruit those shoulder blades. Again, you can take them out to the side, lift them up from there. You can add weights to all of these as well. So you just squeeze and lift, and again down by your side, squeeze and lift. So they're going to help work all those muscles around your shoulder blades. Again, a press up is a really nice one. So a way of doing it without having to go into a full press up is getting into a sort of half kneeling press up position. So you're straight from your hips down to your knees and just going down and up. Again, really squeezing those shoulder blades together, squeezing those glutes together as you come down. Or if that's too hard, you can then do it up against the wall, sort of with your feet a little bit further away. Come down, squeeze those shoulder blades together and press back up. So there's quite a few ways in which you can sort of strengthen up around these shoulder blades. Another nice one is with a resistance band, what we call in Pilates a dumbwaiter exercise. So you hold that resistance band, bring those shoulders out of that position into this position to open that chest, and you just bring that band out and in, keeping those elbows at 90 degrees and squeezing them into your side. Okay, so yeah, again, a really, really nice exercise there. All right. Whew. So one other tip actually, probably won't need it today because it is very warm, but hot water bottle or a wheat bag or something like that are really, really lovely things to pop around your neck just to try and release and relax those muscles off. And other tips as well to try are just looking at how your daughter is sat at the computer or revision or whatever it might be. Because if you find that everything is all sort of scattered in front, you're into this position and your chair's really low and your desk's really high, all those sorts of things, have a bit of a look at that and see if there's anything you can do to sort of bring your daughter out of this position. Maybe it's looking at a better chair or a better height desk, okay, so it's not all the way up here, it's sort of at this elbow height, making sure you've got nice organisation around that desk, all those sorts of things. And again, just having a reminder with her that actually your posture is really important, because if you are spending a lot of time bent forward here, it is going to cause all this tightness and pain around there and this weakness around that back. So even just having a bit more awareness of it and understanding of what effects it can have can really help. So hopefully that was helpful. So just a quick summary of what I've just said there, Jane, because again, I realise that is a lot of information. Check your movements. If there's any particular movement that feels really tight into the neck or the shoulder or the thoracic region, then stretch into it. Really work into that tight area. Just stretch it out nicely. Then from there, I would look at, again, sort of massage with your spiky balls, so getting your spiky ball, tennis ball, having a lie on the carpet or wall and rolling it around those shoulder blades. And then finally looking into your strengthening exercises, whether it's lying on your front, doing those wall press-ups, okay, but really trying to recruit all these muscles around those shoulder blades. And then, yes, heat, so heat or postural advice, so just thinking about how your daughter's sitting, get her on board with how she needs to be sat, what a better way to sit is. And then finally, find something that she's really going to enjoy, whether it's going for walks,